So first of all, in 37, what do we think? Function or not a function? Well, let's look at the vertical line test. If I take a vertical line and pass it through, just pass it through the curve, I can see right away it hits the curve in more than one point. Therefore, this is not a function. If I choose that x value, where does it go? Well, it goes to that y, and it goes to that y. So 1x goes to more than one y, so it's not a function. So this is not a function. Now, what's the domain and what's the range? All right, the domain. Well, where does the domain go? We want to write this in interval form. So the domain, where does this thing go? Look at the x values. Now the domain, that's the x values. It looks like we keep going this way, right? They go off to negative infinity. All right, so I'm going to write here. Now negative infinity is always a parentheses around it. Negative infinity up to where? All right, so you're at the x's. Where do they come? They come all the way up to, it looks like they come to 2. You know, it's a graph, so it's a little bit hard to tell. We'll do the best we can. That looks to me like it's 2, and it looks like it's included. So I'm going to draw a 2 with a closed bracket. What about the range? Well, where's the range go? Those are the y values. Now, as I follow this curve down here, it looks like it keeps going down, and it'll keep going down, right? If you keep going to the left, it keeps going down, so it's going off to negative infinity. So parentheses, negative infinity. And what about going up, right? Go up. Well, it looks like it's going up indefinitely, right? It just keeps going up. Now, it goes up slowly, but it is going up to positive infinity, parentheses. So first up in 39, is it or is it not a function? If I pass any vertical line through this curve, it looks like it hits it only once. In fact, no matter where I draw that vertical line, it hits it only once. So this is, I'm going to claim, is a function. Like if I choose this x value right here, follow it down, it gets only that y value, just one. Like at negative 6, it just comes down to kind of near negative 4. You know, this is always going to be true unless you have something like this. You will always have a function unless your curve does this. Now I'm going to draw a curve, then I'll erase it. But if your curve does this, if it's moving to the right and then it turns around and then to the left and then it comes back, or if there's ever any turnaround, if there's ever a turnaround, it will not be a function. It will only be a function if, like, you start on this curve and you're always moving to the right. If you always move to the right, it's going to be a function. This is not a function because it turns around, so let's erase that. Now, what's the domain here? The domain, well, where does this go? Where do these x's go? Well, this curve keeps going to the left, right? It does slowly, but it goes down quickly, but it's always going to the left, and it is always going to the right. So I think that the domain here is, I'll write it in parentheses because they're infinities, it's going from negative infinity to positive infinity. What about the range? Well, the range, that's going to go, all right, low to high, that's the range. Domain is left to right, range is low to high. So what about low? Well, it goes off to negative infinity. So let's draw a negative infinity, and then where's the high? The high comes up to, that looks like as high as it gets, and it looks like it's included. I'm going to call that a 4, and because it's included, I'll use the square bracket. First up in 41, function, not a function. Well, I can see it's not a function because if I, two reasons. If I draw a vertical line through here, it hits the curve in more than one point, but also if I put myself anywhere on the curve and I start drawing, it looks like it goes to the right, goes to the right, goes to the right, but then it starts to turn around and come back. So I'm going to claim this as not a function, not a function. And it's true, if I pick one x like that one, it gives me that y and that y. Now, what's the domain here? Now the domain, this is left to right, all right? So left to right. What's the leftmost value? What's the rightmost value? Well, it looks like the leftmost value is right there at negative 2, and the rightmost value is positive 2, and it looks like it actually takes those values. I mean, we don't get something like this, right? It doesn't come down and you get an open circle and go like that. It looks like it's all just one curve. So I'm going to say that the domain is square bracket because it's included, negative 2 to positive 2, and that the range, well, that's low to high. What's low to high? Looks like everything's included. The bottom to the top, what are we? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so this looks like it goes from negative 5 up to positive 5. Get a better comma there. All right, I think we've got it.